So neither do we, but that's okay because we like talking about them anyway. I am the master of magnetism, Ben Rosenthal, and I'm here to not talk about video games because you don't know video games, but I know video games. And do you know who does know video games but not really know video games? It is ZAK SABBATH, our guest for this evening.
Hello.
ZAK, it's your first time on the show, and you're a Swedish chef for some reason.
Yeah.
So
First time on the new format. Pretty keen for it.
Favorite Muppet? Who was it? Who's your favorite Muppet?
I could give a rat's ass about the Muppets.
What are you talking about? You just went bird, bark, Mr.
Never watched the Muppets as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I was more of a Rascals kid.
Rascals? What's Rascals?
The Rascals?
Rascals?
The Aussie version of the Muppets, a bunch of trashy.
Oh, the Ferals.
The Ferals, that's it.
The Ferals. Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. They were, yeah. Retro Rewind, which is a cinema thing here in Adelaide that Davey Damage and
absolutely
Brett
love
put
it.
on. They play Ferals episodes before every movie.
Oh, what?
And some of the jokes there.
Yeah, they're not for kids.
Yeah.
Australia, 90s TV was wild.
It was.
Aggro. Have you watched Aggro? Wow, kids should not have been watching this.
Yeah. So, have you seen the bloopers to Aggro? The stuff they leave out?
They are my favourite things on the internet.
Not that he got cancelled, but he should have been cancelled before cancelling was even a thing back in the early 90s. My goodness.
It was a time.
Brayden, what do you know about Aggro?
Aggro, not so much, but I recognize the white cat from Ferals.
Modigliana.
Why do I recognize
Because she had her own spin-off show.
Oh.
And she was used in advertising a lot.
Okay, that makes more sense, because I was like, why do I recognize one of these characters? That's weird.
Honestly, Brayden, you'd probably get a kick out of watching these. It is a kid's show,
Yep.
but it really isn't.
Really.
Especially Radis there. He's like a goth punk. Well, not goth. He's a punk rocker.
Lots of undertones for the parents.
Yep.
A lot. Yeah, and very enjoyable. Great show. Hi to all our American viewers who have no idea what we're talking about, or anyone under the age of 40.
Oh, I'm so old.
Me too. Well, what have you been up to, ZAK? What's new? What's cooking? What's shaking? What's happening?
Well, apart from a debilitating spine injury that I'm currently trying to recover from, I've had to miss out on possibly one of the greatest tours in Riot City history. Not for the wrestling, but just for the good times. I spent about 40 hours over my long weekend playing New World Eternum, the soft relaunch of New World.
What? So, all right. So, what is New World? I have not heard about this.
Okay, it is it's an MMO from Amazon Games. I think it's their first big release. Now, when it first dropped, it broke a lot of records. It had 1 million concurrent players. It was absolutely blowing up. Problem is, I played it in the beta. Mm-hmm. It had issues. When they released the game, it was the same issue. It didn't even have a swimming animation.
Wait,
you
what?
literally walk through the water like the Terminator.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Why does this game not have a swimming animation? So, fun fact about New World is that the devs that they put in charge to make this game had never made an MMO before.
Oh, really?
Yep. It was literally the first time that anyone had done anything like this. So, the game had the highest sell point was the world and the combat. Now, they didn't know how to code in swimming animation. They didn't know how to code in mounts. They even had excuses in the law as to why you couldn't have mounts, and everything was running. As much as the game had a lot going for it, it had so many issues.
Sorry. So they had excuses in the law as to why you could. So, in other words, we can't get this to work. Oh, there are no horses. They're extinct.
Because of the special island that you're on, the magic in the air makes animals untamable. Some bullshit like that.
I love a little bit.
The saddle thing.
That is some phlebotinum at its finest.
It is, but so what New World Eternum is they essentially did a soft relaunch of the entire game.
Right.
Changed up some of the combat. They added story, a way better plot, NPCs. They added swimming animation, which they had to put in the new to start.
Oh, you can ride.
Yep, and they put in mounts. They did a lot of that. It's what the game should have been from release.
Right.
Now, it's got a lot of crafting and gathering. Now, this game has some of the best sound design I've ever experienced in a video game, which makes the grinding for materials to craft things so addicting. Because you hit an iron node with your pickaxe, and it sounds so crisp and so good. Like, it's like mining in Minecraft. You do that ding, but it's, I don't know, it's just so realistic.
Not a fan of grinding and...
But that's the thing, you don't have to.
You don't?
No. If you want to, you can. Otherwise, you can just like do dungeons. Like, there's so many different ways to play the game. But what they also did with this soft relaunch is they released it on console, and it's cross-platform.
That's
so
good.
PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5 are all playing. We're all on the same servers and stuff. It's got a massive open world PvP. The combat's all action based. So it's like there's a skill cap, but they've made it so it's controller friendly. There's a lot of good things going for it. I spent while I was at home, while Michaela was in Japan, my wife was in Japan wrestling. I couldn't be on tour, so I drowned my sorrows by sinking about 40 hours since it's re-released on October 16th, that whole weekend.
Damn.
It is so much fun. It's if you've ever played RuneScape back in the day and you like Dark Souls action-y combat, it's fantastic. I highly recommend. And no sub fee. It's just buy the game and you can play forever.
Oh, see, that's how it should be. I was having this conversation with Brayden earlier because we were talking about Floppy's pick for Game Club, which we all played, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. And each of us, Brayden, Anto, Floppy, and I, have completely different ideas of what a fun game is. Like, Anto loves to be punished. He's like a masochist. He just loves that Dark Souls, hard as balls type game. Floppy likes the separate games that I like. We'll put it that way. And I just like to have a fun, chilled out time with a bit of a story, bit of a fun. I was playing Fortnite with friend of the show, Ghost Games, last night actually. And he's a former professional Call of Duty esports player.
Oh, no way.
So we were playing that and he's just getting more and more frustrated. And he just goes, look, Ben, if you want to win one of these games, we have to... I say, I don't want to win one of the games. And like, he's like, what? I don't play this game to win, man. I'm awful. I play this to have a good time and just mess around. What? So from that moment on, he just decided to take it upon himself to carry me. Well, I just messed around. It was a great time.
Excellent.
Yeah. So what? Campaigns? Being an MMO? What do you do?
So there's a massive overarching story that you play through. It's very much a faction-based PvP kind of deal as well. So you got 3 factions. I'm part of the Marauder faction because they're green and they're all about strength and fighting, and it's kind of cool. There is you have companies which are like mercenary companies, and there's all these different territories that you can that your company can actually take over, and you fight other companies for control. Problem is a lot of people, but you also control the tax bracket in those areas.
Well, you're talking about companies and tax brackets.
Yes. It's an Amazon
What is this,
game.
Star Wars Episode 1?
Yeah, it's made by Amazon Games, so it makes sense.
So they are heavily involved in financials.
Exactly. But yeah, it's all so... But yeah, so guilds, or they're called companies in this game, but guilds can control territories, and other guilds can declare war to try and take them over, but the whole faction defends that guild's area because we get a tax cut if we're part of that.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it is like so you run dungeons, open world exploration, overarching story, open world PvP. Yeah, see all these cutscenes that they're on the screen right now. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, these weren't in the game. It was such a bare bones thing when it first released, and now it's like a real game. But the best thing is the combat. It's like you gotta aim, but it's like turn of the century. Like, so you got bows, muskets, blunderbuss, big ass hammer. It is, I've had a lot of fun. Like, it can be as challenging as you want, or you can derp around as much as you want. You can just play however you want.
Awesome. That's what I like. A game that lets you play how you want. And I like playing not a lot. Speaking of which, you mentioned before that you can watch this on YouTube over at youtube.com/you don't know video games. Or you can watch it live over on YouTube at that very same name. So be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and do all those other things that all the other big-time YouTubers do, because one day we'll be there and we'll also have to do the subscribe thing. If you don't like looking at our faces, I can completely understand. We're also on every other podcast app that you may want to. So if you just want to hear the silky, dulcet tones of my liquid honey voice and not high-pitched whiny town, you should head on over to Spotify and give us a 5-star review. Anything less than 5-star will cause me to come around and bludgeon your knees. That's the service we provide here at You Don't Know Video Games. Brayden, what kind of services do you provide?
Well, if you pay me enough, I like.
I've seen the pamphlets.
I've developed pamphlets. I got them printed down at Officeworks and got
Got arrested because they
physically
went
done, and
they're called.
That's very illegal. So I've been in the middle of moving and changing my life, a bunch of stuff. It's great fun. So I haven't been playing a hell of a lot because my setup isn't quite ready yet.
Brayden's at that special age where they decide to flip their world completely upside down.
And I'd like to take a minute and sit right here and tell you how much fucking Balatro I've been playing on because it's on phones now, guys.
Oh, really?
So Balatro, you can play on your phone, and it's the optimal way to play it. And I wanted to just shout it out and feature it because there's a new thing in Balatro. So at the Switch event earlier, like a couple months ago maybe, they announced they were doing all these collaborations with other games for themed cards, where they did Witcher and Vampire Survivors and all that.
The Castlevania Vampire Survivor DLC comes out soon.
They've got new ones that they've just announced.
Oh, really?
So Friends of Jimbo Pack 2 has come out. And they've got Cyberpunk 2077.
Fantastic.
Which is wild. And
I would kill just to hear the music that plays in the background.
Yeah.
An 8-bit rendition of the Cyberpunk music.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
that soundtrack. Oof.
Balatro continues to be great. Binding of Isaac coming in as well. Who else did they have in here? They had... what was it? Like, I love how much they actually bring them all together. Slay the Spire.
Which is another card game. So
yeah,
that's
which
strange.
Which is really I like how tied in together they're being.
I like the indie team up. It's like the indie Avengers.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, and then Stardew Valley, which is really random.
All right, I've never played Stardew Valley.
Me either.
My daughter, when she used to play games, sunk a whole heap of time into Stardew Valley. I've never played it. Brayden, have you played it? I know Anto
I
lives and breathes it.
Have not. But I know Stardew Valley as it's one of those games where people who I don't normally associate as playing games are like, oh, I've put 80 hours into Stardew Valley over the last week. And it's just what? What do you mean? People who don't consider themselves gamers have put thousands of hours into Stardew Valley. That's a whole thing that I don't understand.
I reckon I might give it a go.
Give it a shot.
Just to see what it's like. You can get it cheap enough.
Don't you want to move away to a nice small country town and try to help grow the local market against a giant corporation chain conglomerate?
No, I want to go into dungeons and find a chair.
Yeah, and don't you want to smooch? There's smooching in Stardew, isn't there?
No, I got a beard. No one likes that.
I would
it's not a
highly
fun
recommend you check out Core Keeper.
Core Keeper.
Core Keeper.
What's that?
It is an indie game. It's a survival game. Very similar to don't knock it till you try it. It's Stardew Valley, except you fight stuff with magic and swords. Very basic combat. This is one of my all-time favorite
Did
games.
you bring this up?
I did.
On a previous show?
But it's I did. But now it's fully released. It's no longer in early access. It's fully released. It is gorgeous 8-bit graphics with a gorgeous soundtrack. The combat is simplistic, but also can be challenging as well for the boss fights.
Is this on Switch?
It is. It's on everything.
What's it called again?
Core Keeper.
Core
I
Keeper.
cannot recommend this game enough. I remember I started streaming this when it was in early access, and the publisher stopped by my stream to say hello and ask for input about the game.
Oh, that's great.
That is pretty cool.
I love that about like indie developers and stuff. Like that's really cool when they're putting in so much time into the community around it, which is excellent.
Is it on Stadia? But yeah, I bought this game for like $20, and I've easily got 200 hours in it.
Damn.
Wow.
Easy.
Is it just the dungeon crawler?
No, it's a random gen map, and there's just giant biomes.
Whoa!
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, like it's wild. The combat's simplistic. You just point where you mouse and you attack stuff, but like look how wholesome it is. You get pet cows.
Oh, look at the cow.
And you feed them, they give you milk. But it's so wholesome, but it can be so challenging.
Nice.
Every world is like random generated. There's classes you can play. There's an RPG leveling system.
This looks sick.
It is so good. It's like Terraria, but not bad. I respect Terraria, but I could not work out, like my brain could not get the whole 2D platformer like controls.
Yeah.
But this I see, obviously growing up on like,
Oh, that looks great. Look at
Sega.
that enemy. Wow.
yeah, wait, the boss fights in this game, like this is a new boss that I haven't even killed yet. This is from the official release. It is insane. And you get little pet dogs. Oh, that's a pet rabbit. That's a new pet. Like, there's so much new content even I haven't seen yet. It's awesome. I cannot stress this enough. Get it. Core Keeper.
Core Keeper.
Damn.
On everything.
On everything.
Is it on mobile? Is it on mobile? iOS? No?
No, I wish. But it's definitely on Switch.
All right.
Like, look at that thing.
I've got so many
That's the
games
Water
to play on
Leviathan.
Switch.
That thing's terrifying.
Is it hard? Is it like hard, or is it like something like baby mode Ben can play?
I put it on hard
Oh, okay, cool.
because we absolutely clap through.
Right.
But yeah, it does have a baby mode. But it can still be challenging enough that you feel good beating something.
Okay. I often feel good when I beat something.
Jesus.
But yeah, and
He does as well.
multiplayer. You just play this with your homies.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, you build a house. The building's super easy.
Yeah, no. I'm going to get all over this.
I personally would recommend it. It's fun by yourself, but I would recommend playing with friends.
All right, Brayden, we might have to look into that.
It looks really nice.
I've been playing something on Switch, also an indie game, because I am a bit of a indie gaming type fan person. Game called Europa. I don't know if you've heard of this one at all. I've been following this since it started development on TikTok a couple of years
Oh,
back.
that's pretty.
It is pretty much a 3D platformer inspired by Studio Ghibli.
No.
Yeah, so it's not an official Studio Ghibli, but the
art style.
aesthetic,
Yeah, wow.
the aesthetic they've gone for. So you play as a small kid called Z, and Z's totally a robot. I've only played like probably an hour of it, and it's a 4-hour game. So, not huge. But they make their way up to a floating isle at their deceased father's request, although I'm pretty sure Z is I've already said that. I should read my notes before I read them again live on the air. It's an exploration game. It takes place on Jupiter's moon Europa, which was terraformed by humans eons ago. You explore through the ancient ruins, which is really cool because you see all these like fossilized robots and like battlefields of obviously an epic brawl between robots and whatever. And, because Breath of the Wild's programmed us that these robots are going to come alive. No, they don't. They just sit there and they're just pretty to look at.
That's nice.
What I like about it as well, because it takes place on Europa, the terraformed moon of Jupiter, the gravity's a little bit floaty. So it allows your character Z to float basically anywhere. And what's really cool is you have pretty much all your power-ups at the start of the game.
Okay.
So you have the choice where you can just do what you want. You can follow the critical path, and you can sort of like collect these pages out of your father's diary in order to develop the narrative and find out the lore. Or you can just go, no, I'll just do what I want, and just go wherever you want. Because, you're all powered up. What next? So with the powers at the start, the game stretches all your abilities to their breaking point. So that makes for some great puzzles. I won't go on any more about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But basically, all your power-ups are used in pretty ingenious ways, actually, in order to solve the puzzle. It's not combat heavy, with most enemies being able to be disabled through a simple puzzle. And the puzzles themselves are simple, with most being able to work out in a minute or two. So again, it's a very chilled, relaxed game. Again, very, very pretty. You collect, it's a collectathon as well. So you have something to do in this vast open world. You also sketch out animals that you come across in your travels, basically like a Pokedex, but, you know, with art and talent. So the story feels like the least important part of the game. You can skip the pages of the diary or finding the pages of the diary altogether and continue without it if you wish. Little danger in the world leads to fun exploration game, ideal for young gamers. So this is if you have someone, a child or a younger brother or sister or cousin who's just starting to get into video games, this is a fun time for them to get into because automatically it appeals visually, and I'm the worst reviewer ever. It's a chilled, relaxing game from a single game dev. So one dude made this.
Really?
Yep. Been making it for
Damn,
years.
that is wild.
It takes about 4 hours. And I would recommend you get it on Steam because Switch has got a little bit of the pop-up happening. But not this game's fault.
Yeah,
But yeah,
nice.
that's a really cool game. I really like it. As I said, I've only played a little bit. I've been looking forward to it coming out for ages. It's really cool. Like TikTok, all right, it might be a lot of bad things, but there are some really cool things in there as well. Like finding game devs who are building game. There's another one who's building a Nintendo 64 type game, like horror game. Sort of your Majora's Mask type feel.
Yep.
And he's doing it through a Nintendo 64 engine. So I've been following him as well and just waiting for that to come out eventually so I can play that.
That's awesome.
But support indie devs because they come up with really cool stuff like this. And I'd be very surprised if the gentleman who made this game doesn't get a big old contract somewhere soon because it's, really cool.
And it's a good idea to try and support and promote this game as well because as Christina in the live chat pointed out, there is actually a NASA program currently off to go explore Europa, the actual moon.
Yep.
And I'm sure that hasn't affected their search engine optimization at all.
No.
So
Well, it's NASA. No one cares about NASA.
Yeah, so just make sure this game doesn't get buried by, the actual spacecraft.
No. Everyone should play it. It's a great time.
Indie devs are the future, man.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I don't mind what people were talking about how Microsoft buying up all these companies and whatnot. I'm all for it because all it's going to do is conglomerate all those bigwigs. And all the younger indie devs are going to get more notice because people are going to be looking elsewhere.
Because AAA games, or in Ubisoft's case, quadruple A games, suck.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with their quadruple A game besides everything?
Yeah, besides everything. Did I not already go on a painfully long rant about how Skull and Bones was an absolute pile of excrement?
Yeah, what was the other quadruple A game that came out? Wasn't Concord billed as a quadruple A?
Oh, fuck.
Do you want a very quick Concord update that I've heard?
Oh, yes, please.
So, you know how there's that secret level, the animated series coming out where each episode is a different short on a different game?
Yep.
Apparently, the Concord episode's really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is just...
Do you know
makes
why?
it so much better.
Do you know why, Brayden? You know why? Because it was all a marketing stunt.
Oh, Jesus.
It was all a marketing stunt. I'm telling you. Because now this short's going to come out. They're going to go, well, that's really cool. I should have played Concord when it came out. And it's like, well, due to popular demand, here you go. Oh, look, we've got a huge concurrent users player usage thing.
No, unless they drop it for free.
They will. That's the whole model.
But even then,
Battle Pass, my friend. Battle Pass.
Battle passes make money. I have no issue at all with pay to look pretty.
No, same.
If people want to spend money to look a little bit prettier, that's fine.
Lord knows if it worked for me, I would.
Yeah.
Ben, you'd buy a new skin?
I'd buy a new hair. Does that count?
Disabled for you, mate.
You know you can technically
Your character
do
model
that.
can't have it.
You can do that, right?
But I want to be a werewolf. You're a bald werewolf.
Yep. Giant hairless cat.
Yeah. Like one of those sphinx.
You're like Bold Weasel from Suicide Squad.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, I'm glad Zach's here this week. Enjoy it, because he won't be again. Oh, what is that? Oh, come on, that's Wilson Fisk. I'm nowhere near the size of Wilson Fisk.
That's great.
Mr. Toad. Anyway, speaking of disturbing things, some leaks happened during the past week.
I'm excited.
Some Pokemon leaks. Now, usually as a show and as a podcast, we don't like encouraging leaks. But there is a specific part of these Pokemon leaks that I needed to address. And that is lore drops that aren't official, that aren't canon. But this is lore for specific Pokemon that was written and translated. And the internet's gone a little bit weird with it. Actually, no, they've reacted appropriately for once.
Pokemon leaks.
Pokemon leaks. Yes, there you go. That's far-fetched. Okay, so we ready to hear some of these?
All right, hit me.
Okay, so do we know what a Typhlosion is?
Yes.
Yes?
Third evolution of Silver and Gold.
Yes.
Of the fire Pokemon.
Correct,
Cyndaquil.
correct.
Cyndaquil.
So it's the one in the middle there for those of you watching on youtube.com/you
big
don't know
lad.
video
That
games.
slacking can piss off. That kicked my ass as a kid.
Oh yeah, they're tough. They're big tanks. But anyway, so here's the start of Typhlosion's lore. A long time ago, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was unclear. So that's where we're starting.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm just going to read this. This is the translation. A young girl is tricked by a shape-shifting Bakufan, which is Typhlosion, into thinking that he's a human. Eventually, she apparently has a child with him, and she's called his wife. Her father eventually comes and kills the Bakufan, and when she returns to the village, she and her half-Pokemon child is teased by the men in the village, who at one point cover it in fur skins. Then they run into the forest and are never seen again. So that's just the broad strokes of the Typhlosion story.
Do I have the option to run into the forest and never be seen again?
Well, wait. Here's an actual translated passage. So that was just the encompassing story.
Oh.
Here's an actual quote. You have broken the branch. Your father will be here soon. Now I'm going to have to do something bad to your father. If you kill me, you can have my eyes, my voice, and my heart. Then I want you to build a fire where I was killed and let it burn. And I want you to sing this song until it burns out. The girl said, Please stop. You're going to kill my father. Please stop. Let yourself be killed. Goodbye. We'll never meet again. So there you go. That's a nice, touching children's tale.
If we could never do that again, I'd appreciate it.
What are we talking about? What's wrong with that? What?
I tap.
Well, that was
see
my
that?
wonderful voice acting.
That's me tapping.
What's wrong with my voice acting?
He's out.
Nope. I've read fan fiction that's not that bad. That is, I've heard of fan fiction. Haven't read it. Someone's read it to me as a gag. But if Typhlosion could just be uninstalled from Pokemon, that'd be great.
So I did find someone who made a little bit of sense of this. And in it, they said that this was all translated. So, of course, translation errors and whatnot. Typhlosion is said to be a yokai as opposed to the actual Typhlosion. So the Typhlosion, the Bakufan in this story, was probably a yokai that could shapeshift, which, you know.
A demon.
Yeah. And the girl was actually a young woman, not a girl.
Okay, makes sense.
A lot better.
Okay. Okay. I look, I work in a comic book shop.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of weird looking manga and a lot of weird anime out there.
Yeah.
I feel like they are walking a very thin line when they suddenly just turn around and go, "Oh, but, no, she's actually a young lady.
Yes, I know.
Oh, she's actually a 400-year-old elf."
Well, here you go. Here's some more apologizing for it.
Oh, boy.
The idea of the woman having a child with a monster is symbolic of rebirth into a new world. That's what they're alleging.
Okay.
It's symbolic.
So they are they just talking about like women having children with men?
No, they're talking about how there comes a time in every woman's life where she needs to change.
Yikes.
And they do that by having monster semen.
Whoa!
I think that's the moral of the story.
Damn.
It's that special time in every young girl's life where...
That's why they're called Game Freak.
All right, second tale. This one's
there's
about...
more of this?
Oh, yeah, there's like 4 of them.
I thought that was it.
No, that's just the rapey Typhlosion.
Oh, boy.
Pokemon, just stop.
This one's about Slackoth and Vigoroth, so you'll like this.
Which one's... this guy?
Yeah, the big guy, the big tank guy.
No.
Okay, in this second tale, a group of women spend their free time hunting and killing Slackoth
Oh, okay.
for no other reason than they appear to enjoy it. The twist in the Slackoth story is that one woman gets kidnapped by a Vigoroth and falls unconscious while being held captive. When she awakes, she's back home and later gives birth to a baby Slackoth.
Jesus.
That seems to make her a changed woman, but not her Pokemon hunting friends. Continuing their needless Slackoth slaying, the group discovers her Pokemon child sleeping and kills it. The woman takes the slain Pokemon to a lake and drowns herself with its body.
Whoa.
So there you go, some more Pokemon lore for you. What do you think of that, Zach? What are you thinking about? What are your thoughts on...
You know, I'm kind of having Vietnam flashbacks of some of the Pokedex entries I've read over the years and how disturbing they are. Doesn't actually seem that far-fetched now I'm thinking about it.
Farfetch. He's Pokemon. Okay.
Drifloon doesn't seem so bad now.
But I hate all of this.
Yeah. Well, look, there's another one here about Rapidash. And I mean, everyone loves horses, right? Not as much as this guy. A man is hunting a Rapidash.
Oh, boy.
The man finds one and tells it, "I will not kill you. I desire your beautiful mane, so I will ask you to be my wife."
Mate, it's literally fire. What are you doing?
One day, the hunter was riding his wife. How it's actually written. One day, the hunter was riding his wife as they came across a pack of male and female Ponyta and Rapidash. His Rapidash wife tells him, "You may kill the males. However, please do not kill the females, for they are my sisters and your in-laws." End of story.
Wow.
Zach, thoughts on that? You ever wanted to
Look,
ride your wife and her beautiful mane?
Look, mate, what I do in my bedroom is my business. But thank you so much for inviting me here today. Really happy to be here.
Have you played Pokemon recently?
No, actually.
No?
No.
No.
I played Power World, and that is nowhere near as demented as what you're reading me.
So let me just reiterate. This is non-canon, but this all came out of the Pokemon League. This is some of the lore that they had. I mean, I think the idea was to develop like fairy tales. Like, you know how fairy tales...
Fairy tales?
Yeah, well, that too. Fairy tales are like really, really sort of a bit icky, like Goldilocks, you know, and just chopping.
Look,
and
we
killing
all
and...
know there's like demented shit happening with Pokemon. Like, just humans being humans, we know there's demented stuff happening. If there was Pokemon in the real world, there'd be some disturbing shit.
Kids, just do me a favor. Pop up your web browser right now and write these words. Right. You want to go to an image search and you write Pokemon. And then next to it, write Rule 34.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
Tell your parents Ben sent you. All right, here we go. Last one. This was a bit weird, actually. This had... oh, I feel like I'm in Fight Club. This is... same story, but for two different Pokemon. So this is for Octillery and Lapras. So Octillery is the octopus one, and Lapras is the one looking back seductively at you.
Lapras has always been, you know... I mean, look at that face.
Yeah, Lapras knows what it wants.
Lapras knows what it wants, and it can get what it wants.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate it here.
Octillery out here looking like an absolute goon.
Well, I mean, look at the mouth. Look at the mouth. Anyway, Octillery and Lapras. Here we go. A man finds an octillery / Lapras. When I say octillery, just imagine I say octillery and Lapras. A man finds an octillery / Lapras washed up on the beach. He has relations with it, then throws it back into the sea. The same thing the next day, and again the next day. One night, the man had a dream where the octillery said, "I cannot come to you, but I will deliver our shield to you. It is ours. Your sand, mine." I've obviously written this. All right, let me retranslate my writing. I cannot come to you, but I will deliver our sun to you. It's ours, yours and mine. The man went back to the same spot, and instead of the Pokemon being there was a small boy. After many years, the man dies, and the young boy grew to be a man. He was all alone. End story.
No.
So, what morals are you getting from that, Brayden? What do you think the deep core of this moral?
I think we've just discovered all the training data for ChatGPT's early days.
Right.
I think this is just I think ChatGPT as a company went, "Hey, we need some training data," and Game Freak were like, "Boy, have we got you covered."
So that's Pokemon Rule 34. What do you think of these Pokemon leaks, Zach? You seem to be very quiet. Seem not to be giving us much content.
Not to give you fucking here. This is
Ben, you can't milk our guests for content.
Look, this is
Milk and
horrendous.
octillery for content.
I hate this so much. Whoever wrote this shit needs a bullet.
It's called the Pokemon Company.
Well, they need a bullet.
They do. It's called Power.
Yeah, good. I can't wait. Oh, this is so
Sorry. Trying to find footage to bring up. Searching Typhlosion. It's just YouTube's cursed now.
Yep.
But there's one which just says Typhlosion is the new Diddy. That's not okay.
I made that joke in our Discord.
Oh.
Someone had the same joke as me. Oh,
Damn.
gosh. Anyway, so there you go. You can look up all the really interesting stuff.
Also, Michael Towns in the chat said Woprus, and I hate it.
So we've got a bit of time before the end of this segment. Brayden, when you stop flashing seductive Pokemon pictures up. I thought it might be time that we actually go back to the Fantasy Critic that we started many moons ago.
Whoa, I wasn't ready.
I
Give me a
know.
sec.
I know. I had it in my back pocket for if we've ever finished a segment early. So let's have a look at how we're going. Now,
God forbid we let that go on any longer.
Yeah, I'm so glad that ended. I'm so glad. But if we're talking about demented, Pokemon stories, has anyone actually, this one's just super sad. You know the little ghost Pokemon that dresses itself out like Pikachu?
Mimikyu, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did anyone actually read the Pokedex entry for that thing?
Yeah.
Did anybody else's heart shatter into a million pieces?
Oh, yeah.
Which one is it? There's a few.
time.
So, well, the one I read, I
Messed
can't
up.
remember what game it was. I think it was the Hawaiian one.
Sun and Moon.
Yeah. That Mimikyu dresses up like Pikachu because...
Wants to be loved.
Yeah, it wants to be loved. And it thinks if anyone saw what it really looked like, no one would love it. And I'm like, close game. Flip that. I'm done. I'm done.
Have you read Drifloon's one?
No, what's a Drifloon?
Drifloon's the big purple hot air balloon.
Is that the one that steals kids?
Yep.
Yep.
Still
Nope.
kids. Yep. In one of the games, I think it may be actually Ruby and Sapphire. There's a ghost. Like you go into one of the mansions and you go into one of the rooms and there's just a female ghost walking and then that's it. You don't see from them again. It's just a ghost.
Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Cool.
Not haunting at all.
That's great.
Anyway, Brayden, we stalled long enough for you to bring up the Fantasy Critic.
You bet your bottom dollar.
That's how professionals do it. So this is the... Oh, we're going with the host.
This is the host league.
You might have to get into the host one next year, Zach. Have you ever... Do you know what a Fantasy Critic is?
Look, I've followed along for all the years I've been listening to the predecessor of this show, Hack the Dino. But I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what the fuck you people are doing. I just listen and say, oh, I'm winning. Okay.
Brayden, do you want to explain what Fantasy Critic is very quickly?
So, you know fantasy football?
Yes.
So, take that, only instead of players, we're drafting games. So, at the start of the year, we draft a couple games, and we have some spaces open to bid on games later in the year should games get announced, or we think something's going to do really well. The idea, you are trying to draft games that you think are going to score really well on OpenCritic, which is like Metacritic. So it collects all the scores of different, like, companies and, like, publications that rate and review video games. When they score really well, you get points if you got that game.
So
That's the gist.
So if the review score is over 70, you get 1 point for every point, every score over 70 it is. So if, say, a game was 86,
Case in point,
you get 16 points.
right here. So we have Tekken 8. Actually, Dragon's Dogma 2 got an 87 on OpenCritic at the moment. So that means it scored Anto 17 points.
Okay.
However, South Park got 60, which means Anto lost 10 points.
Which is super disappointing because every South Park game, or at least the last two, the RPGs have been absolute bangers.
Yeah,
and
which is
then
what
they
I think-
released this, which is an action game, and it sucked eggs.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what Anto was banking on. Anyway, so we've got two going. We've got one just for the hosts and then one for all our Patreon supporters. And if you would like to be a Patreon supporter and get in on the action next year, head on over to hackthedino.com, click on the Patreon link, and join us for as little as $2 a month. That's Australian as well. So if you live in the US, it's a bit cheaper for you, like 20 cents or something.
Nice.
So having a look at the Patreon one. So what do we got? I think I'm second in both leagues at the moment.
I think you are at the moment.
Last year, I was tipped to win both and got piped at the bloody post by some bullshit VR game.
Was that the RPG that got
the really big one. Yeah.
that absolutely crushed it? It's like the best RPG.
Oh, speak of the devil, Nintendvania in the comments section is the one that bloody pipped me.
Very good.
Wow, timing.
Yeah, so this is our Patreon-only Fantasy Critic, which you should all jump on over to. Again, Hack the Dino, look it up, hackthedino.com. Come join us. Brayden, how are you performing? Pretty bloody well on the host one. In fact, I think I sent a message to everyone just the other week saying I think Brayden's just single-handedly won the competition 2 months.
So, with that, though, I was looking at it back then as well, and I was like, man, yeah, I did pretty well with that. It's tightened up a bit since then. Like, it's actually, like, projected-wise, like, if something of mine slips or, like, goes away suddenly. Also, I'm pretty sure it's Floppy's last remaining game. His last remaining game is Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Yep.
It's going to suck.
Really?
I don't have high hopes.
But, like, I feel like a Call of Duty
It might get 70 at best.
Whew, yeah?
Have you guys played COD?
No.
Well, yeah, I know. I
Since
don't like
Black
it.
Ops 2?
But a lot of people like it, Zach. Not me, but
No. They play it. Doesn't mean they like it.
that's
It's like
fair.
League of Legends. We play it. Doesn't mean we like it.
Yeah, that checks out.
So what am I on there, Brayden?
So you are currently on
101.
101.
There we go. And I've got an unannounced that's vacant.
Okay, didn't they, what are the scores that were at the start different than this?
Yeah, so one's projected, one's actual.
So
Aha!
So this is the projected score. This is the actual score. So we want to pay attention to this one.
But Floppy's got way more budget. He can buy more games too.
No, he hasn't got any slots left.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Floppy's good at filling slots.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
So Floppy, other than Call of Duty here, is basically done.
Yeah.
So whatever Call of Duty scores, that will then become his final
And that's the
total.
problem when you do what Floppy did and fill everything out in the first 2 months of the year.
But
Did
then
he bet against Space Marine 2?
Yeah, he did.
Is he on drugs?
So, no, but here's the thing, Zach, for context here, because I totally duped him here.
Oh.
Because I drafted Space Marine 2, and the year prior, I had drafted Blood Bowl 3.
And that sucked ass.
Yeah.
And that got terrible reviews. So Floppy was like, oh, another Warhammer game. That's... And no.
Nah, mate, that game slaps.
That game kicks ass. So, yeah, we were very happy with that one. If it wasn't for that, I think Floppy would have really, really, like, basically had it. Like, he's got absolute bangers on here.
He does.
He did very well. Unfortunately, he fell, and this is what I've been saying to him the past 3 or 4 years we've been doing it, is that you can't just put all your eggs in one basket in the first couple of months of the year. You can't set and forget. You have to constantly go back and revisit and look. And I'm regretting doing this segment now because I've been meticulously planning my comeback. And now everyone's going to jump on and go, oh, that was Ben doing. Okay.
Oh, look at that. Never did really well.
I told you.
That's a
See?
new one.
That was announced, and it released like 2 months after it was announced, and I went, that's going to be a banger, and I was 100% right.
Yep.
So I just need Indiana Jones to be Game of the Year.
Yeah, good luck with that, mate. It'll be okay.
A 98 overall Indiana Jones game.
Please.
That's
and for
what you
Hollow Knight
need.
Silk Song to actually release.
Okay.
That's not going to happen, is it?
Okay. Good luck with that.
You know what sucks about that? I had inside knowledge that it was going to release this year. And they've just changed their mind.
Ah, yes, very good.
Insider trading. I should be arrested. Anyway, let's have a look at the Patreon one real quick before we move on.
Yes, let's jump back. So, Patreon.
Back to the Patreon. So I'm second again.
Currently, in bringing up the rear, we've got Game Boy Dad, Michael Towns, and Afrinix.
Afrinix.
And then we've got me in the middle, and Floppy third. Ben, you're up there in second.
Yeah.
And Triple Indy, seemingly running away with it.
Seemingly.
Absolutely.
Seemingly.
dumpstering everybody. Very
Like
cool.
a solid 20 points above everyone at the moment.
But if you look at the projected,
Ooh.
look at the projected. Look at the gap with the projected. Triple Indy's still winning, but
And it's still 20 points.
you know what game really sunk me?
What was that?
I was at Refantasmo or whatever that game.
Refantasio.
Refantasio. I had no idea it was done by the Atlas team who did Persona.
Yeah.
And had I known that, I would not have picked against it.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Who again? Ben, did you bet against 40k?
Yeah, same thing as Floppy.
Yeah.
Ah, foolish.
Yeah.
Yep. Got them both.
Got them both.
Got him.
Got them.
Yeah, so that's looking pretty exciting.
I'll
I
get
mean,
involved next year.
a lot of whoopsies on everyone's behalf, like me, for example. But a lot of really good games that came out of nowhere. I'm exceptionally pleased that Never went as well as it did. Look at how many gaps you've got, Brayden.
I know. Look, so yet to release in the Patreon League, I've got Planet Coaster 2, which is coming out soon. We've got Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Yeah, you're going to take an L on that one, mate.
What?
Really?
Yeah. That does not look like Dragon Age at all.
But I like the look of it.
That's
You see, I haven't played a Dragon Age game, so
Zach, people
mate,
in the live
that's my
chat.
favorite game series, brother.
yeah, I need to go back and play them.
People in the live chat are chanting for you to get in on it next
I'll
year.
get in on it.
All right.
100%.
It's really annoying when we do it. We go into the Patreon channel, and it's just like, hey, Afronix, it's your turn. All right, Ben, it's your turn. All right, Brayden, it's your turn. And
It's
just
notification central for a solid 24 hours.
like, yeah, there's a 24-hour period where you're just constantly getting pinged because it's a snake draft as well. It goes down the list, then it comes back up.
Oh, yep.
So people are constly going, hurry up, make your pick.
Marvel, right? That's the Overwatch clone, isn't it?
That is.
That's going to be good.
Yep.
I've seen lots of good things about
Yep.
that. But yeah,
Very interesting.
Dragon Age is my favorite series. I also have the controversial opinion. Everyone doesn't like 2. I love 2. I think it's the best
Ooh.
one, and I'll die on this hill, and I'll take you all with me.
Damn, okay. Because
Two
I
is-
was, before Veilguard comes out, I was asking people for what ones I should play. Like, where I
1
should
and 2,
start.
and Origins, the expansion to Origins,
Yep.
which is like a whole separate game, and 2. Those are the 3 that you should play 100%.
Okay.
Inquisition is good. Like, it's good because it's more Dragon Age, the same way as Andromeda is more Dragon Age.
Okay.
More Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But it's a massive world, and it has some really, really cool mechanics and awesome characters, but there's a lot of bloody nothing in this open world.
Okay, yep.
And yeah, there's just areas that do not need to be as big. But 2 is the best.
Okay.
In my opinion. I think you'll get a massive kick out of it. And the Kunari, how they made the Kunari look in this compared to 1, brother. It is awesome. Like the whole civil strife between the mages and the Templars. Hawk as a character. You actually...
I've heard that name be dropped before. I've heard people say that name, so...
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
Yeah, how tough is that?
I would try my best to jump on this soon, because while Dragon Age Fever is hopefully covering the world. I will jump into the old
You'd
ones.
have a hard time playing Origins and the Origins expansion. I can never remember what it is. What
okay.
what the second Origins is called.
Yeah.
But it's because it's so old. It's a bit of a buggy mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 is personally my favorite.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay, cool. I'll
yes,
have to.
everything about it is.
I'll let you know how I go with it then.
Well, speaking of my favorite's Michael Towns from Game Boy Games.
Game Boy games.
Game Boy Games.
Be sure to tune in next time for You Don't Know Video Games.
We like toys.
Until then, just
alone.
remember to subscribe and leave a review, but probably a good review. Not that these guys don't prepare their shows enough and end up filling the void with useless rambling. Just write that they're really grouse and we do this. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was providing content, Ben.
I know. I was complimenting you on it. It's great. I didn't have to do a damn thing.
Oh, Toy Fair is such a good time, though.
Why am I still on, Brayden? Why?
Bye, everyone.
Do you want to? Sorry, I'm just gonna keep talking for a sec. Do you want to know the actual reason why I haven't hit the outro button yet?
Why?
Because I was sitting here thinking, have I made an outro yet? I can't remember.
Yes, you have.
Did I?
You have.
Professionals.
Let's enjoy this outro that I apparently made.